My name is Brennan Bird. I'm the founder of the Peace on Earthbench movement, or international movement that empowers youth to transform waste into a community place. And we're here at Laurel Dell Elementary School in San Rafael, California. And we're getting ready to build San Rafael's first Peace on Earthbench. A Peace on Earthbench is made from bottle bricks, plastic bottles stuffed full of trash, and earthen building materials, clay, sand, rocks, gravel, all sorts of things. Today we're going to be going through all the different steps of how to build a Peace on Earthbench, from building the foundation to mixing cob and earthen building material to plastering to some of the earliest stages of the project, which involve collecting bottle bricks and diverting trash into the bench itself. We're gonna get ready to dig down at least a ½ foot, and that's where we're gonna lay the gravel drainage to prevent the water from being sucked up into the bench. If you're building a back to the bench, you want your bench somewhere between 2.5 and 3 feet wide, and that's gonna provide space for the back, for the bamboo poles, and for the seat itself. Before we add the gravel drain rock, we're gonna sink in our bamboo poles at least a foot into the ground. What we need to do now is measure how tall we want the bench to be. You want to build the back big enough to fit your bottle bricks. It's time to lay our gravel drainage, and we're going to want to put the gravel drainage all the way in around the bamboo, all the way up to the ground level. We're now ready to start building up the foundation. Start off with our nice river rocks or landscape stones on the outside perimeter. These are the stones that are going to be showing, so ideally you want more aesthetically looking rocks on the outside. After we do the perimeter, then we're going to be adding the urbanite in the center. So I'm just going to go around and sink them into that gravel. If there's a little bit of gravel exposed, that's okay, we can always cover it with dirt. Now it's time to add the urbanite pieces inside. Doing our first layer and trying to fit as many pieces of urbanite in as possible. And then you can see here we're using the urbanite, we're using the rocks to kind of sink this bamboo in. If there's any extra spaces like that, don't worry, we'll put stones or the extra gravel in to fill these spaces. So if you have a piece of urbanite that's really irregular on one side and flat on the other side, for this layer it's really good to put the irregular side down and kind of sink it into the gravel. You can always fill gravel up underneath it and leave the flat side up, because that's going to make it easier to stack the next layer. Now we're going to lay gravel to fill any of these extra holes. You could also use sand if you didn't have any gravel left over. Once we lay the gravel or the sand, fill any of the cracks, we're going to do another layer of urbanite. We've added gravel in between the cracks. You don't need to cover the urbanite completely, just need to fill the cracks as much as possible. And now we're at the point where we need to create that extra level of mass that's going to provide the seating area for our bench. There's multiple different ways of doing this. I'm going to show you 3 different ways. The first way is going to be using another layer of tube urbanite. The second way is known as earth bag construction. And the third way is a style of tire construction. Add the moist material, tamp it down, and when it dries, it'll become hard like cement. Fill it up about that much, and then get your nails to seal off the bag. The way you seal off an earth bag, you do 2 rollovers. You grab your nail, you're gonna poke it through one side, try to work it through, and you're gonna poke it through the other side, kind of sewing it together. This is a tamper. If you don't have the money to get a tamper, you could use a piece of urbanite.